And now for a brief update about the York County Board of Supervisors and Planning Commission's September meetings.
We had a little art season. We tried to really expand that.
The board's first meeting of the month, September 5th in the East Room at York Hall, began with a presentation from Karen Reardon of the Greater Williamsburg Chamber and Tourism Alliance. This was Ms. Reardon's quarterly report about the county's tourism initiatives as related to meals and lodging. She updated the board on how York County's investment is utilized to promote and market the historic triangle, including printed materials distributed throughout the region, various trade shows, the spring and fall arts events, and the very successful efforts to increase Christmas tourism.
There are 5 priorities suggested this year.
The board discussed its 2018 legislative priorities during a presentation by Deputy County Administrator Mark Carter. Items included in the legislative priorities are meals tax parity with cities and towns, support for full funding for public schools, Interstate 64 widening from Williamsburg to Richmond, and Colonial Behavioral Health Services initiatives. Once approved, the board's legislative priorities are forwarded to members of the General Assembly for consideration in its 2018 session.
York and James City, Gloucester, Isle of Wight, and Suffolk will be linking our switches together.
Next, the board was given an update on the 800 megahertz emergency communications radio system by Terry Hall, Director of Emergency Communications. Mr. Hall gave an overview of the regional radio system that includes York County, James City County, Williamsburg, Poquoson, and other tenants to the system, including Colonial Williamsburg, the Coast Guard, and National Park Service. This project is a great example of regional partnership that leverages resources for the best technology and most comprehensive coverage. The consent agenda was approved, including a sanitary sewer agreement for Huntington Point and drainage improvements for Victory Industrial Park.
Thank you for joining us for the Board of Supervisors meeting.
The second meeting in September began with a presentation from Greg Grutendorst, Chief Economist with the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission.
How are retail sales growing?
Mr. Grutendorst provided the board with the latest data on the county's and the region's economic trends, including the important unemployment and housing sales numbers. While the area has not fully recovered from the Great Recession at the same pace as the rest of the nation, he was very positive about York County. The board approved 3 public hearings on the agenda. The first item was for conditions for an existing auto body and paint shop on Route 17 and Apple Lane. And the second and third items amended several sections of the subdivision and zoning ordinances.
The relative population of York County and Poquoson has changed.
Also getting approval, amending prior arrangements for cost sharing of court services between the county and Poquoson.
The motion carries unanimously.
The October meetings of the Board of Supervisors are scheduled for the 3rd and 17th. All supervisor meetings are live on WYCG TV, Cox 46, Verizon 38, or live streaming at yorkcounty.gov. And with the new website, so easy to find. Click on Board of Supervisors drop-down menu and watch live video stream.
Our main purpose is to hear you and then to address the issues and make a decision.
The Planning Commission meeting September 13th had 1 public hearing item on the agenda. Recommended for approval, a use permit for a tourist home at 113 Edale Avenue. The item will be moved to a future Board of Supervisors meeting. The next meeting of the Planning Commission is scheduled for October 11th in York Hall. As with the Board of Supervisors meetings, all Planning Commission meetings are televised live on WYCG TV and streaming on yorkcounty.gov, and all Planning Commission meeting agendas, materials, and links are at yorkcounty.gov/planning. Stay tuned for more great programs right here on WYCG TV.